August 31st, 1983. John F. Kennedy International Airport, New York. Korean Airlines Flight 007, a Boeing 747, took off carrying 269 souls. Among them was a sitting U.S. congressman. After a refueling stop in Anchorage, Alaska, the plane began its long journey to Seoul. It was supposed to be a routine flight across the Pacific. No one knew it was flying directly into the darkest shadow of the Cold War. Shortly after leaving Anchorage, a fatal silent error occurred. The autopilot was incorrectly configured. Inch by inch, degree by degree, Flight 007 began to drift off its designated route, Romeo 20. The pilots, flying through the pitch-black night over the ocean, were completely unaware. They were slowly heading straight into highly restricted Soviet airspace. At the exact same time, Soviet air defense forces in Kamchatka were on extremely high alert. The U.S. military had been flying RC-135 spy planes near the border to test Soviet radar. When the blip of Flight 007 appeared on their screens, Soviet commanders didn't see a lost civilian airliner. Fueled by Cold War paranoia, they saw an American spy plane violating their sovereign territory. The order was given. Soviet Su-15 interceptor jets scrambled into the night sky to hunt down the intruder. Major Gennady Osipovich, an experienced fighter pilot, closed in on the target. He approached the massive aircraft from behind. The Boeing 747's navigation lights were blinking, a clear sign of a civilian plane. But in the dark, and under strict orders, the truth was blurred. Osipovich fired warning shots using his cannons, but his interceptor wasn't equipped with tracer rounds. In the pitch blackness, the Korean pilots couldn't see the bullets. At that exact moment, Flight 007 requested permission from Tokyo to climb to a higher altitude to save fuel. The plane ascended, slowing down. To the Soviet pilot, this routine maneuver looked like a desperate evasive action. Time was running out. The aircraft was about to leave Soviet airspace over Sakhalin Island. The Soviet ground commander, convinced it was an escaping spy plane, gave the chilling final order: target destroyed. Major Osipovich locked on. He fired 2K 8 air-to-air missiles. There was no going back. The missile struck the tail section of the 747. Shrapnel severed the hydraulic lines and breached the cabin. Explosive decompression tore through the plane. The pilots fought desperately to control the mortally wounded aircraft. For 12 agonizing minutes, the massive jet spiraled down from 35,000 feet into freezing sea of Japan. 269 lives were extinguished in the dark waters. The Soviet Union initially denied everything, claiming the plane simply vanished. But they didn't know the U.S. and Japan had intercepted the fighter pilots' radio transmissions. U.S. President Ronald Reagan broadcasted the intercepted audio to the world, calling it a crime against humanity and an act of barbarism. The Cold War reached a boiling point, bringing the world closer to nuclear war than had been in decades. The black boxes were secretly recovered by the Soviets and hidden for a decade until the fall of the USSR. The truth finally emerged. It was a catastrophic chain of errors and paranoia, not a spy mission. To ensure such a navigational tragedy would never happen again, President Reagan ordered that the U.S. military's highly classified GPS technology be made available for civilian use worldwide. 269 people died, but their tragedy forever changed the way the world navigates.